Well, I'll be coming back to this later.
Hello good people, today I'll be showing you how to fend off the endless hordes in Vermintide as the Unloved. You'll be learning how to properly fend off these unholy abominations from clawing into you and your fellow adventurers, while only occasionally committing Sudoku. The Enabled's primary strength is her ability to dominate hordes. Paired with her high damage output and overall tankiness, makes her a fantastic character for carrying when you get matched up with the mentally ill.
The fuck?
The first thing we'll be going over is the skills and abilities. The Unbound's active skill is called Living Bomb. Using it causes you to release all of your pent-up aggression as an inferno, damaging all nearby targets. It's also the best way to damage your team without being yelled at. Your passive abilities are Blood Magic, which causes half of all damage dealt to be taken as overcharge, allowing you to keep getting slapped with little penalty.
Oh, fuck.
Slave to Ashki? Ashki? Unstable Strength, which causes you to deal more melee damage when at high overcharge levels, and Blazing Snooze, which reduces the amount of stamina you lose when at high overcharge, and consumes overcharge when you block. For people who are constantly exploding, it's because you're not doing this. For talents, this is my typical setup. At level 5, I take Form of the Firewind to increase the maximum load available before an explosive death. The other options for this row are Backblast, which is more situational, and Volcanic Body. You should never really need the 20% health from Volcanic Body, because if you're somehow managing to take that much damage, you're probably already blown up. I can only recommend this if you're somehow at the perfect IQ level, where you're not smart enough to be able to dodge or block, but you're also somehow intelligent enough to keep yourself from overheating. At level 10 I take Mind Furier's Fury. Stamina regen allows you to dump more overcharge by blocking. Your other options are Essence Siphon, which is garbage, and Seared Nerves, which is an okay replacement if you're being an actual team player, and helping those deadbeats. Sigmar knows I don't. For level 15 I recommend Natural Talent, however you're one of those special snowflakes. Conduit allows you to vent your overcharge 50% faster, which can be pretty useful on occasion. Dissipate, however, is hot garbage. Typically the only thing you would vent is Grey Health, and because the Uncuck's main strength is to kill the weaker enemies in the game, you just have an overabundance of it anyway. As per usual, at level 20 we're taking the only good talent, because the other two are traps, and traps are gay. And finally at level 25, Flame Wave is useful to help your team if you get surrounded, because it knocks back all enemies and kills slave rats. It also ensures that you hit all 3 members of your team each time you ult, and let's be honest, the little things are the sweetest. Blazing Crescendo is probably the worst of the 3 options, however it lets your Living Bomb kill Chaos Zombies and Clan Rats, but you'll be hitting fewer targets. Finally, Tick 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 is the best talent if you're learning the class, or having issues with accidentally praising Allah. However, once you get better at managing your heat, you should transition to one of the other talents. I typically run Crit Chance and push Block Angle on melee weapons, with Resourceful Combatant for career skill cooldown. However, Attack Speed and Crit Chance are also a good combination. On my ranged weapon I prefer to take Crit Chance on everything, and for Fireball and Conflag Staff I take Damage versus Infantry. I also take Thermal Equalizer on everything. For necklaces I use Max Health and Stamina. However, if you want to be a hipster, alternatives are push Block Angle and Block Cost Reduction. For charms I run 10% damage to Chaos and Skaven, just for the overall 10% damage increase. There are good breakpoints however, and I'll leave a link to enemy health values in the description so you can tune your build. Try hard. For trinkets you should always bring Curse Resistance unless you're not grabbing Grims, but why wouldn't you grab Grims? I take Crit Chance to use together with Resourceful Combatant for more career skill cooldown. For melee weapons, we have the basic bitch sword, which does good damage and is good at clearing waves, but that's about it. The Flame Sword, which is slightly weaker than the sword, but is able to cleave through armored and shielded enemies, which can be handy on the rare occasion you actually get to use it. The Dagger, which lets you run faster and has the most effective dodges, but makes you a Chaos Warrior's bitch. And the Mace, which allows you to effectively apply police brutality to anyone dumb enough to resist your quest for more red charms. In all seriousness, the Mace is the only real weapon for dealing with anything that has armor, and can one-shot Storm Vermin and Chaos Marauders with headshots. The only reason to use the Dagger would be for the added mobility, and the 2 sword variants have their own use, but require your team to deal with armored enemies. However, they're all very viable, and worth playing around with to see which one you like the most. Finally, the ranged weapons. Luckily for us, the Beam Staff isn't nearly as OP as it is on Pyromancer, so you have more options. The Flamestorm Staff is good for killing enemies tunneling together, but pretty much every other weapon does it just as well, if not better. It also lacks the ability to deal with enemies from far away, so it's pretty bad. The Bolt Staff allows you to live your anime dreams of throwing Ki Blasts, but to live this fantasy, you have to give up on using a good ranged weapon. The Fireball and Conflag Staff have a great primary attack with good range and damage. The Fireball Staff has a much stronger alt fire, however, and will usually just outright kill any weaker enemies it hits, while the Conflag Staff does less damage, but is more controlled and can endlessly stagger foes. Overall, the Unbiased is one of the most fun couriers in the game, due to its utility and unique playstyle. That, plus it doesn't require you to just AFK with the Beam Staff and somehow kill everything on your own, while making the other players in your game lose brain cells watching the fun. As always, subscribe and like the video. If you like this kind of video, I'll make more of it, and if you didn't, well, fuck you. I tried.